well, I messed up the intro. I'm going to play it anyway. Hello, everyone. Of course, the one time where we actually start like right on time at 9 o'clock, I mess up the intro video. But welcome, good night, good evening. How is everyone doing? My name is Turmentic, and this is Let's Talk MetaZoo. CNO is going to try to join us later tonight if he gets a chance to. He with his telecom business, he actually has some pretty big gigs that he has to get done tonight, so unfortunately he's not here with us when we start. But once again, I am joined by the one, the only, the beautiful. How are you doing, Mr. Dean?
I don't know about beautiful, but it's good to be back, brother. It's good to be back.
Beautiful,
I'm sorry,
man. You look good. You look good.
I'm sorry I missed the last one. But it's a nice balmy 16 degrees here in Melbourne at 11 a.m. today.
That's right. It's winter over there. How's the winter been treating you over there?
It's cold. It's cold, bro.
You can take some of the heat from the East Coast. Please take.
Well, our summers are really hot. Our summers are really hot, and our winters are really cold. It's like one extreme or the other.
Man, see, I like the cold weather. The cold weather is that's where I'm at. I don't like the heat because at some point you get in trouble for taking off clothes, but you don't really get in trouble for putting on clothes. So that's my motto.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's a good point.
But yeah, tonight we are doing our this is our third recap video actually now. This is the July recap of everything MetaZoo. And we got some really good topics and stuff that we want to talk about, discuss, break down a little bit for everybody. As always, if you have questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. We're checking chat and everything like that. If you are watching on Facebook, I will answer questions and such, but I have no way of knowing who you are because Facebook and privacy, it doesn't like showing people's names. So please don't get upset if I don't call you by name if it's a Facebook message, but we will answer your questions. But yeah, welcome once again to Let's Talk MetaZoo. And the first big one that I want to talk, it's probably one of the biggest things of last month, honestly, in my opinion. Legacy. What are your thoughts on give me your thoughts on Legacy?
That was a surprise. Like MetaZoo loved, tease and do all these sorts of things, and then Legacy literally was like just boop. It just sort of came out of nowhere, and it was one of the best surprises. I mean, I'm all for it. I think it's going to be a crazy good set. I think people have probably underestimated what's going to come of it. Much like Legendary Collection in Pokemon, right? I remember back in the day, everybody thought those reverse holos were like fakes, and now they're some of the most sought after cards that you could possibly get.
Some of the most expensive cards too, if you're trying to get them in like PSA 9, PSA 10s, like they are not, like even the common, uncommon ones, they are not cheap.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I mean, obviously as it was dropped, there was an announcement that War would be delayed, but hey, that's okay. We're still getting Legacy, so I'm excited to see that. I like the idea around the premium product as well. Like it's a very different sort of drop. It's like here's some blisters and a premium spell book. So it's an exciting time.
Well, I've been talking about, like, especially from like a lore perspective, I love the idea of Legacy, especially after finding out recently that the story, what we found out, a month ago or so when Mike was doing the MetaZoo lore hour or so, I think, where we found out that the story isn't linear. So it doesn't go Cryptid Nation to Nightfall, to Wilderness, to UFO. It's, yes, those are parts of the story, but it's a hodgepodge, if you will, of cards from here go with this over here, which then goes with that. And knowing that now, I really, really love the idea of legacy because it gets us refocused on the casters, on the cryptids, on some of the major cryptids actually of the storyline, especially with War being the first set that's going to be lore focused. That is actual, like, this is what happens in this set. I like the idea of them refocusing back on the storyline and the lore, because that's honestly how I'm looking at legacy. I'm looking at it as a refocus. Like you said, with the whole the premium, the spell books and such like that, I like that they're making it different. It also, in my eyes, and this is a funny joke, these spell books I think are going to be the best spell books that we've ever seen. Not just because of them being the premium product, but because if all of the packs are either in blisters or spell books, and that means, I mean, they fixed it with native, in my opinion, but that means that we're not going to actually find like reverse hollow heavy spell books, things like that. Like I like the idea of this be. I wish we actually knew what the count was, like how many cards were going to be in the set. But we don't really. I mean, the only here I have one picture of the only thing that we've actually been teased so far, and it's this beastie right here. That's, I believe, the only War spoiler that we or not, sorry, not War, Legacy spoiler that we've actually gotten so far.
Where did you see that? I've been seeing that. That's the first time I've seen it.
That was spoiled, oh god, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I want to say. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, that was spoiled like 2 or 3 weeks ago, actually, if I remember. And it's the only one that I remember seeing that is a Legacy spoiler. They were talking at one point when it was in the Legacy video that I actually made, where we might actually see like Sam's Dingbell. We might actually see other beasties that are actually contracted to the casters, things like that, which I thought was really, really cool. Especially kind of going back with the whole idea of the legendary collection from Pokemon. It really reminded me of like Gym Heroes Gym Challenge, which is cool.
Yeah.
Plus, again, that refocus on those specific like beasties. I've been preaching it for the last year that I think Dingbell is one of the most important beasties in all of MetaZoo, because it is the first one that Sam contracts. So if we actually have a Sam's Dingbell, I think that's going to be the first time that there are people that actually were like, huh, maybe he was actually onto something. So
Mate, you're onto something. It's almost like blatantly obvious. If people aren't aware of that fact, with or without you like putting it out there, like it's obvious. And Dingbell's cute as. He's cute AF.
I do think it's kind of interesting and kind of cool that they did the exclusive pack for partners. So
Yes.
there are like what is it, like 4 or 5 pack arts, and then there's the actual partner pack art?
I think there's 6. My understanding is there's one for each set that's been released. So like base, Nightfall, Wilderness, UFO, Seance, Native. And then the partner blister is the Legacy one.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense. Because I couldn't find much info actually on like the partner pack. So that's kind of cool, actually. Then, so I wonder if that means that the partner packs actually will have anything exclusive only to them. I don't know. They haven't, like I said, they haven't given us much info yet on exactly how. Like, again, like what the set number is, or like how many cards are in the set. We don't really know a lot of what some of the reprints are going to be. I'm really hoping there's 2 cards specifically. I'm hoping one of them is this one. I really hope that we actually get the Indrid Cold playtester sample.
Look at that, 220 LP as well.
Oh my god, I want that sample. I want that artwork so bad. The other one too, just because it's funky to me, is the Aura Generator.
I like the Aura Battery as well. We haven't seen the Aura Battery either.
That's true. That's the thing. I was going through, and there in the Legacy video I made, there's like good solid like 4 or 5 examples. I think just from the samples themselves. And then we saw the other beastie too that I showed earlier. This one, so like that's actually going to be in there. We know that there's going to be reprints of certain beasties. We don't know what. I do know though that they aren't reprinting things like Chaos Crystal and other stuff like that, so we won't actually see those. Anything that's still on the reserved list is staying on the reserved list. Like that's the whole point. Like I remember them actually talking about it in chat a couple weeks ago. Anything that's actually on that reserved list is going to stay on that reserve.
Yeah,
there's no point in making a reserved list if they're going to print it for whatever reason. So that's I like that because that means eventually down the line, like Chaos Crystal, like the artifacts, the Orifacts and stuff like that, I really see a substantial increase in value over time since they're not printing them. I think the towers have actually proven that those are, I mean, not just the towers, but I think specifically with the towers, it's kind of proven how beneficial the Orifacts, the artifacts and stuff like that generate aura are. Because I mean, you can use them in standard play and like tournament play, but specifically with the towers where you're limited to the 60% rule and everything like that. Yeah. I'm stoked that they're actually not. They're actually upholding that reserve list and they're not printing any of those and they're actually keeping that as the reserve list.
I had all the confidence in the world that would never change anyway. It's a surefire way to really F yourself over. Is to say, hey, we're not going to reprint these cards, and then within 3 years do it. Bad idea. It took Magic 30 years to do it, and then it still pissed everybody off.
Oh yeah,
so,
no,
like,
that's Magic 30 is in my opinion.
You just don't do it.
It is. I don't. There's no point in actually having a reserve list if you're going to reprint them at any point. Like, because that's, I mean, in essence, all you're doing at that point is I hate saying this, but you're being dishonest. And that's kind of what upset me the most with specifically with Wizards and Hasbro with Magic the Gathering on the 30th anniversary is that they broke their word that they had like basically had for all these years. So I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to them actually taking some of the reserve list cards though and slightly reprinting them in like a April Fool's set, like something where it doesn't have the same utility or it as like a Chaos Crystal, but like I would be okay with them actually printing those, but like an actual like Chaos Crystal itself, like that I like that that's actually being reserved. Like they're not touching that and they're sticking to their word.
It's the reality. The reality of a reserve list, anyway, is it's the mechanics of a card that are reserved.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it. So it's like we'll still see Mothman and etc., but you'll just never see the Prophecy Mothman reprinted again.
Yeah, I mean they could use the same artwork, but it doesn't have to actually have the same attack. It doesn't have the same ability or effect. So like Mothawk was saying, he really wants to see the OG Mothman in Japanese. They can still use that artwork, and like I have no problem with them reusing artwork, especially if it has a different attack or ability, because then that's more versatility. It allows you to have both of them in your deck. And it doesn't even have to be the same original artwork either, too. They can take portions of it, or they can actually take bigger parts of it, like the background, but then change the actual what the beastie's doing, or take the image that the beastie was, like Mothman, for example, with the wings, but change the actual Point Pleasant background. Like, I'm okay with them doing stuff like that. I do agree with you, though, Matt, like, because Matt's actually saying they should retire artwork at some point, too.
See, I don't agree with that. I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, because, again, I revert to the Magic the Gathering reserve list. And, that the whole idea of the reserve list is to reserve value of certain cards and be able to then move the meta forward in other ways so that you can't keep regenerating and falling into the same trap. That's the whole point of what the reserve list is. It's why the Orifacts, are so powerful, why Black Lotus, etc., is so powerful. Like MTG do these other Lotuses, very similar artwork, not the exact same, but then they change the mechanics because it can't then be used the same way as it was previously. So in my opinion, I think I'm not saying I would love to see them reuse the artwork. I'm just saying that in my opinion, I think I'm losing you. I've had you lagging.
Oh, did I lose you? Oh, it was me.
Yeah, it's you. I've been watching on YouTube as well. Like you've been lagging like a donkey. I think we've lost Rob. Oh no.
One
Where is he?
moment. Wait, am I here? Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You just sort of keep cutting in and
Okay.
out.
All right, let me know if that got any better. I don't think I
Is
actually had
Sino
my phone
working
on.
on your is he working on your telecom at the
He's
moment? Is
working
that
on
what's
my
going on?
internet. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me know if this gets any better. Because
It already seems better. It already seems
okay,
better.
well, that was my fault. I apologize to all of you loyal fans of Let's Talk MetaZoo. I forgot to turn my phone on the Wi-Fi. We went to the water park earlier today with the boys, and of course, I took it off Wi-Fi. So that was my fault. I apologize. So what were you were talking about the artwork?
I was just saying that for me anyway, adding the artwork to the reserve list isn't high on my list. I don't think it's of importance personally, but I think the gameplay aspect is. I mean that's in my opinion that's the idea of a reserve list.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I see like what Matt was talking about though, about how what like Pokemon did, for example, with like the base Charizard, where they've reprinted that base Charizard now like 4, 5, 6 times. But that's different than what we're kind of talking about right now though, Matt, because they literally reprinted that card. They
Reprint
didn't
the
just
exact
use
same
the
card.
artwork. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
just use the artwork. They reprinted the exact same thing, same attack and everything. So like I wouldn't be, like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to them actually reusing the original artwork or something like that in some other way or something like that. Like because I love the original artwork. Like
I
love
do like the idea that you said too, like, maybe even use Kelsey's Mothman, but you can change the background or something like that, kind of like what they do with the Black Lotus, like with the Jewel Lotus and these other, Mox Lotus, all these other things that Magic have gone and done in the future, change the mechanics. So it still sort of looks kind of like the same card, but it's not the same card, and it definitely doesn't play the same way.
Yeah. And see, and that's the other thing too, is that they could actually reissue, like let's say the prophesizing Mothman again using that same ability. But if they actually changed the aura cost, or if they changed something else about it, it would still be a different card. So there are ways.
Yeah.
There
That's
are
exactly
ways
what
that they can
Magic
get
did.
around a full, if you will, reprint of a card.
Yeah, because like Magic did that, with the Lotuses. Like you used to be able to play one. Now it's like tap and just use the mana for a very specific like creature or enchantment spell or something like that. But they're conversations that I think around the reserve list we should have, after a decade, not after 3 years.
I love that. I love that. My man's thinking long term. See, that's why I love you, Dean. You're like, we'll talk about this in 10 years' time. We need to talk about this now. But yeah, anyway, go back to what we originally talked about, Legacy. Like, I'm honestly really excited for Legacy, like I said, because of the refocus back on the storyline and the lore. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? I'm really excited about the refocus on the lore, the story. I understand them having to push War and SCP back. I would rather have the refocus back on Cryptid Nation proper leading up to War, because again, War being such a lore heavy set. I mean, it is the first lore heavy set. So I'm okay with that actual like refocus. And at the same time, even though I think SCP plays a bigger role in the MetaZoo universe as a whole than they've been letting on, I'm okay with SCP being pushed back, because to be all honest with you, we don't need a full-fledged core set every Halloween, in my opinion. I love the themes. I love the spookiness of it. I love how they try to tie it in with the holiday, but we don't need a core set, in all honesty, every Halloween. I mean, that honestly is a little much to expect from, in my opinion. And again, SCP, we don't fully know how it ties into the storyline or the lore or any of that. So it can be a full core set that is standalone, very similar to like when we got. I'm thinking that the timeline now for SCP is probably, if you remember when Cryptid Nation 2 came out, January of what was it, 2021?
Well, it came out here like
sorry,
6 months
2022.
later.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, well, Cryptid Nation 2 hit the streets late January of 2022. And it was great because it was a nice segue product to get us from Nightfall, which had come out in October, and Wilderness, which was coming out in like March, April. So if they do that with SCP and then March, April, like mid-April, probably like beginning of April or so, we get 7Cs, then that is still puts us right on track for Yokai Island base next summer. So if anything, they've added a set. They didn't really push anything back that should alter the full timeline, I feel.
Yeah. I guess it depends when we see War now.
That's true.
Because we don't know when that's coming.
I had to show this. I love you, Ryan. You're amazing, my guy. Thank you, dude.
Hey, Hensley, what's up, brother?
War, most likely, in my opinion, I think War is going to come out around that Halloween time slot, somewhere between like mid-October, mid-November. Because again, we don't have much info on Legacy. Like I don't know what the collection count is. Like that's the one thing, because if it's 165 cards, like in a normal set or so, then it's, in my opinion, going to be one of the hardest sets to get a master set of, first off.
Yeah, that'll be costly.
It's also one of those where you have to think about it, where if they shifted with a core set, like if they shifted into a core set like Legacy to add it, they had to have thought of this a couple months ago. Like this had to have been something that because they had hinted about Legendary Collection once or twice. I remember seeing it in like MetaZoo hours, random messages that Mike would leave in the Discord, stuff like that. Legendary. But we didn't know the full scope of any of it. So if they can hide this for as long as they did, I'm very interested to see what else they have up their sleeve. I don't think this is, like I said, I don't think this is actually going to stop War or SCP. We are still going to fully get those sets. On top of it, too, it gives Card.io an extra month or two to like really polish up the online client.
Cardio.
That's right, Cardio. It gives them a good solid another month or so to really polish, 2 months almost, to polish up on the online client, because we're getting code cards for the first time with War.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It kind of makes sense when you start thinking of it along those lines of the refocusing back to Cryptid Nation, the actual like place, the thing that we all fell in love with, the cryptids, the beasties, everything like that. It gives Cardio an extra month or two to work on the online client to actually polish off some stuff. It still fits the full timeline all the way coming to this time next summer with Yokai Island base. So I'm not upset at all. We get more cards. Plus, we get cards that we haven't seen before. We get beasties that they've teased us before, but we haven't seen before. So I don't know. I'm excited.
I'm never upset, to be honest, because whilst things may get delayed or they take a little longer than expected, every single time the product lands in everybody's hands, they're insanely happy. It's always a good experience. You know, it's always a good product. It's always good to play with. It's always fun to collect. It always looks great. You know, they've never let us down in that respect. So, you know, I'm excited. I think Legacy will be great. I think the set will be like 80 cards. I feel like
I hope so.
Well,
I hope it's not a big set. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I hope it's not a big set.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to focus on maybe the lore specific, or even just like the fan favorite cards. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's sort of what they probably picked, like the best 70 or 80 that they like, or they think people are going to want to be able to hold forever, like things like that. I think that's what they'll go with. I've been wrong before, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hesitant to say this, but I don't know how much Legacy will throw a wrench in Dark Tower either. Just because.
Do you reckon we'll have it before? What date is Dark Tower?
Dark Tower, I believe, is the 15th, 16th of September. We don't have an official street date yet, I don't think, for Legacy, but I want to say it's going to be first or second week of September. So it's a potential that, depending on what's in it, they could throw a wrench in Dark Tower. But we don't have a specific street date as far as I know.
I reckon it'll be the back end of September because I feel like fan art's probably going to be the back end of August this month, and then Legacy will probably be a month after that because you've just got to think about their own turnaround times within business,
I didn't even
dispatch,
think about
printing.
fan art in Dark Tower. Oh no.
Yeah, that's more. Well, that'll be more. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants drop bears and choco cats for Dark Tower, so
I'll be honest. I'm not afraid of that Choco Cat. You can take your Hello Kitty, and I'll say goodbye and I still.
bro, just use your drop bear on the choco cat. Drop bears should be far more powerful.
I'm just saying, hey, drop bears are real.
Drop bears are real.
So yeah. Anyway, Legacy. I'm stoked about Legacy. I still haven't. Honestly, I haven't pre-ordered any Legacy yet. I still need to. Dude, last month was extremely, between all of the stuff going on with the channel and in family, Kansas City and the Galaxy Con in Raleigh. I just didn't have any extra money whatsoever. But I mean, there's still there's a handful of good partners that I'm definitely going to snag some from, especially those partner blisters, because
from Super Galactic Games and Comics, right?
I honestly don't know if we're going to get any. I know that Ryan
what is
from
Jared
Trading Card
doing?
Vault, I know CNO actually, TCG Island, John from Immortal Workshop, Josh and them over at IHC, the Lads of Loveland. I know they're all going to grab some. I'm going to grab a couple, probably, hopefully from a couple. I want to grab at least 2 or 3 from a couple different partners, just trying to spread the love out. But yeah, I don't know if we're actually going to get any, to be honest with you. We're kind of we're so focused right now on the gameplay and on Dark Tower. Like, that's what we've been doing the last 2 weeks is getting decked straight for Dark Tower. Plus, we have so much other stuff at the shop too. We just got a bunch of UFO, so I'm actually probably gonna try to do like a whatnot stream soon. Actually, trying to sell some booster boxes of UFO because I want to find those 4 other secret rares that we haven't seen yet.
UFO is always fun to open. It was a good experience.
Dude, there's 4 of the constellations we still haven't seen yet. There's 4 of them, and that's crazy.
And we know one is Mike the Headless Chook. We know
I pray that it is the Leo one, because if it is, that is the first secret rare that I'm ever gonna want. Because I'm a Leo. My birthday's next Wednesday. So like
happy birthday, Rob.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I want that headless chicken.
What are you turning? 23? 23, 24?
You know, man. I wish. No, I'll be upwards of like late 30s.
But no, you don't have to actually tell people. We'll just pretend we're really young.
Oh yeah, no, 23. I assume 23.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. So the next thing I have on our list is something different for Halloween, and we don't have a lot of info about this. This is all we actually have. This is all they've actually shown us. It's very different than other Halloween stuff that they've actually done before in the past as well. This is ridiculously cute. This kind of actually reminds me more of the Valentine's Day set than anything else. So I'm interested to see why they did the shift to a more cute, like cutesy Halloween set.
I mean, Mike said previously, prior to the Hello Kitty stuff anyway, that the artwork was going to start to change and be less dark and more blanket, so like it can appeal to more people. I think it's probably just an on-go of that.
They're trying to bring in the kids, which is amazing, because that's going to be the next generation of casters that actually keeps this game alive, that actually keeps this story moving forward. They tried
old blokes collect all the good cards and hoarding all the good cards isn't going to keep the game growing.
They well, they tried it last year with the trick or treat packs, which I feel were a huge success. Those were a blast to open. I love the actual masks and stuff like that. But again, like you're kind of like you're saying, there, in my opinion, there were not that many people who actually bought the trick or treat packs to give out to people. It was more they opened them for themselves, or they. So I like that they're trying to do something again to bring in those younger casters into the
Yeah,
game. Um, and if they have to go cute, they have to go cute. I mean, cute actually
I
always
like
always
it.
works.
Cute's good.
I'm okay with, and see, that's the thing, is I'm okay with them actually getting rid of some of the darker artwork, because to be honest with you, that was one of the things that there were certain cards like Black Mass, for example. I don't try to show Black Mass that often on the channel, just because I try to keep the channel family friendly and stuff like that. And I know that specific card could upset some people. So
Yeah.
I like that. Again, first impression is always the most important impression, and if that's the first card that somebody sees, it might prevent them from allowing their kid to actually like get MetaZoo, which there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with any of the cards or anything like that, but again, first impressions. So I don't have a problem with them actually doing the cute stuff, because like I said, it's going to bring in a younger demographic. At the same time, you have to look at the different. um exactly, Dad had exactly. Black Mass equals
It's
Japanese Misty's tears.
it's all relevant to the IP and brand building. That's where all this stems from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Magic can get away with a lot darker artwork for a longer period of time because there is no IP there. They dabble
Yeah.
in and out of other IPs for things like that. MetaZoo is trying to, or is planning to build a big, genuine worldwide IP that needs to appeal to people of all different ages from all different countries. And as much as I love some of the older dark art, thankfully I own it so I can enjoy it. I don't need to continue to see that in the future because I want to see it grow. I don't want this game to be directed at just, 18 to 20 or 18 to 35-year-old males that enjoy some dark art. It needs to have a bit of everything for everyone so everyone can collect it. Like, that's like when you look in other, we'll use Pokemon again as an example. Like, some people like to collect Charizard because it's probably one of the scarier looking Pokemon, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
or like, what's a scary looking Pokemon? I don't know, Giratina
Tyranitar
or
maybe.
whatever. Yeah, like they're a bit more masculine sort of cards or artwork, so people like
Yeah.
to chase them. And then you've got Garbadois and Skitties and all that sort of shit. Like, it's so you have to be able to cover both. You have to sort of go in that direction. And I would say MetaZoo primarily has been a lot darker from the start,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to where it will be in the future. So I like that the Halloween is going to be more family friendly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say kid orientated. I'd just say it's family friendly. It's going to hit the mark for a broader market because, yeah, like you said, can't go around handing out black mask cards to kids at Halloween, can you?
Well, and I mean, at the same time too, though, not every product that MetaZoo comes out with has to be geared towards adults either. So this could be a funky Halloween set that has crazy animation like this or crazy illustrations like this that is specifically geared for kids. So like, I
Mm.
mean, yes, there's always going to be people like you or me who, like, regardless of the subset or regardless of what it is, we're still going to want some of the cards of them just to actually have those moments of history. But I'm completely okay with MetaZoo making specific products for kids, for people, for children under like 12, under 10 years old. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think that's going to take away anything from MetaZoo. If anything, it's going to make the brand stronger, because
yeah,
like, again, going back to like Magic, for example, there are, like, you don't want to actually get your kid, for example, like one of the Warhammer 40K decks, but you could get them one of the starter commander decks. The artwork
yeah.
in those two are going to be completely different. So like, and I'm not saying Magic actually makes anything specifically for kids, but I'm okay. I don't know. It sounds weird because it seems like with most franchises, they have to make a product that's specifically for everybody, and they can't like make this for these people and then make this for this demographic. I don't know. I don't. There aren't many franchises that actually do that, and that's kind of what I see MetaZoo doing as a whole is that they're making specific products for specific demographics in order to get more people exposed to and interested in the franchise itself.
Yeah, which is the right thing to do when you're on the border of releasing a worldwide IP and looking to, 10, 20, 30x your brand expansion.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to hit a bunch of different targets. So, I think we'll still see, Poncho artwork is killer. Like, he does some amazing stuff. And that will still be out there, but I think as a general consensus, sets will start to look a little bit different, maybe depending on what they are. I mean, it's all speculation, guys. So don't tear us to shreds in the comments. We're just speculating. We don't know anything that you don't know.
We there's just been little hints that they've said in chat and stuff like that. Like you were talking about, Mike has specifically said that they want to try to make the art more family friendly. They want to like tone not change the artwork, but tone it down, if that makes actual sense.
Dad had made a really good point there too.
Look at the shift in the marketplace: kids shirts and pencil cases from bikinis and keyboards. Exactly. I'm gonna have to let me highlight that because that's a perfect comment. That's a perfect comment. Because yeah, like, and that's the thing is, you notice that over like the last month and a half or so, 2 months, is like all of these kid shirts actually popping up on the marketplace. So I mean, and at the same time, just because they make a cutesy art set like this doesn't mean that like the anime, for example, or the shorts are actually going to be in that type of anime style. I mean, to even say that too, I hate going back to it, but look at Pokemon again. If you look at Pokemon the first season versus now Pokemon Journeys, the artwork is, yes, they look very similar, they look the same, but the artwork, the actual animation itself is very, very, very different. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cool to actually see a lot of this evolution in real time, in my opinion, as well too.
It is cool, man. This is what's cool about being involved in new TCGs as they break into the market and continue to grow. Because when the biggest 2 or 3 of our generation, everybody that's watching this right now, when they were in this stage, we were a lot smaller and didn't pay attention to shit like this. And there wasn't people around there doing it because there wasn't YouTube. None of that happened.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There was no way
enjoy
people
it.
could do this. Yeah.
So now we get to sit back, we get to speculate, we get to enjoy it, we get to see all these different things happening. Whereas in the past, they would just happen, and you got to deal with it.
Just to give you some ease, Star North, they've already said that War is going to be probably the darkest set that we've seen. And it would make sense, in my opinion, for War to be dark, even though they said that they're trying to take a more lighthearted approach. Not a lighthearted approach, that's the wrong word, but a more like family-friendly almost, I guess, approach. Because War is the culmination of the dark and the light forces in Cryptid Nation, literally fighting for dominance of that area. So I mean, that is going to be a very dark set, I think.
I guess it just depends what your view is on dark as well. Like when I think about talking about the Dart artwork, I think about like the Matlock's cannibalism sort of artworks. I think about Black Mass because of literally cutthroats. I think about the Satanic Panics and those sort of cards, like Chains of Old Scratch. Things that are alluding to faiths and things like that. You got to take it out of there. You can't really have that stuff in there just because everybody's got an opinion. I think they're like the dark arts.
Though, with us going to yokai, we don't know storyline wise where all of these things and people are going to end up. Like once Salmon Company leaves Cryptid Nation proper and starts going to yokai, we don't know if Old Scratch is still going to be like an antagonist at all or anything.
Yeah, no, but I think that's like when you talk about War being a dark set. I think there's ways to do dark without it, restricting like kids not being able to be involved in that, or like parents being like, I don't want my kid to have that card or look at that card or look at that artwork or whatever.
It could also be violence though as well too. Like we could actually see a lot of actual fighting going on some of the cards. I know that the one that they actually teased us with, it showed a like a burnt silhouette of a person on a wall, kind of like what happens like with a nuclear blast, like nuclear bomb goes off and like the person, actually their shadow or whatever, like imprints on the wall. We saw something like that. But But I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest. I have no idea what to expect when it comes to war. I don't.
Neither.
They've been very, very quiet about it, which is awesome. They haven't really given us much. They have only given us maybe one, maybe two spoilers at most for war. Um, and so yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to begin, to be honest. Like, I know that it's going to be a battle between Sam versus, in my opinion, still Adam and Indrid. But I
Yeah.
don't know what exactly is going to take place in that battle. And I mean, the top stuff even threw me for a loop too, because Flatwoods is fighting Loveland, and Loveland shouldn't be able to fight Flatwoods because Loveland can't fight beasties. But does that just mean that Loveland can't fight beasties from Earth? Like, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need, like, there's so much info that we need actually from or about war. Like, I need that book. Where's the first book? I need the first book so bad. That's true, Mothawk. You said look at the latest Sam promo, the one from Kansas City. It actually does show Sam a little bit darker, but it doesn't actually show him as like a dark caster. That's a good segue too to actually kind of go and.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel like the comments might be misunderstanding exactly what we're talking about when it comes to like dark art. Like Black Mass is the perfect example. Go and actually look at that artwork. Look at it proper. Have a good look at it. If you haven't,
Yeah.
you know, that is what dark artwork is, right? You don't want a 3 or 4-year-old looking at something like that. I think, you know, a Mothman and Sam, like that promo, I don't think that relates to what I would consider as dark art by any stretch. Even what you said with War, with that silhouette from an explosion, I don't really think that's dark artwork, right? Because a kid's not going to allude to the fact of how it got there. They're going to look at it. If you look at Black Mass, they're in bikinis, they've got cutthroats, he's wearing like a satanic outfit, right? Like that is dark artwork.
That's true. I was thinking more along the lines of just like the connotations of death, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that is that technically, yeah. I mean, and again, though,
can a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old understand what that is, as opposed to looking at an image?
Fair. That's fair.
Can they make that assumption on their own at 4 or 5 that that's a connotation of death, as opposed to looking at something that is death?
I would say you're right. Yeah, I would say you're right. You're right. They wouldn't really realize that that on the wall or that imprint on the wall was because of X, Y, and Z, because they haven't been exposed to what would have caused X, Y, and Z. So that makes sense. Yeah. I'm interested to see this transition though. I just
it'll be cool.
Because it's not just our speculation either. It is stuff that Mike and Andy have talked about. And so I don't know. I'm interested to see what fully is going on in their head, like what kind of thoughts of how they're putting this together in order to release the IP fully to more people. But yeah, no, that was a good. I want to actually show you that Kansas City promo. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and it shows.
That looks cool as. I love it.
It shows Sam with Mothman. It kind of almost, in my opinion, supports the whole idea that I've been saying, that Sam actually contracts Mothman. The white Mothman too, as well, is the same one from Nightfall, which is interesting. So again, going back to the whole thing about how everything from Cryptic Nation to Native is a hodgepodge, that promo supports it. Just because the Nightfall Mothman came out forever ago, and based off of this right here, Sam is either contracted or has some sort of deal to work with it. And like Andy actually said, because he teased, like, I don't know if I can't zoom into it, but if you like look underneath the sword, you see that little green like rectangle. Andy took a picture of that and put it in the Discord like 3 or 4 months ago or so. It was like, you're gonna lose your mind when you see this picture. And you should have seen my face when I actually saw the picture for the first time when I walked into Kansas City Collecticon, because he was indeed right, and I lost my mind, because this actually goes like the whole idea that, and it's been really cool going back and looking at the cards the last month or two, and seeing the connections of where these cards line up, because this wilderness card goes with this native card, which then goes back to Cryptid Nation. And so I love that this pretty much in essence shows that the White Mothman is Sam's. Like,
it's all starting to come together, right, from the lore perspective. I love watching your videos and watching you. I mean, you're always pretty excited about them, but as more and more comes to light and you start being able to put more and more together, it's really good to watch.
Well, it's cool too, because about 6 months ago or so, Mike actually was talking about how Mothman, he was saying beasties, but he used Mothman specifically, changes its aura-esque. Yeah, Joker, you're actually talking about it. He changes his aura in essence to match whatever the person who's in charge of him, or basically the person who's contracted him. And so it's really kind of cool to actually see that actually happen, where when he's contracted by Indrid, we're assuming he's actually contracted by Indrid. He's more dark in nature, but then when he actually is either freed from that contract, or Sam contracts him, or Sam and him make a deal of some sort, his entire aura changes. So yeah, that's interesting, because like they're like Dad had saying, he's like, I want a flame Mothman. So in essence, that means that if Mothman, for whatever reason, was to be contracted or became like basically the I don't know. I guess it would only work if you're actually contracted. It would actually change. But that's the other thing too to keep in mind, though, as well, is that Mike explained that there are some beasties that will allow you to contract them, but if their aura or if their power, their potential is more than the caster that contracted them, the beastie in essence will control the caster. So some random Joe goes up and contracts Pisal Bird. They're not super strong in being able to control it. Pisal Bird will actually be able to control the caster, which that's frightening if you think about it.
We'll find out. We will find out.
But yeah, so that was the promo from Kansas City. Kansas City actually was a lot of fun. I got to do the Kickstarter break with
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and
we got
in
to do
the
that.
first edition stream, you pulled me a Blood Ruby, I think it was.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Kevin Atlas for getting me out there, for actually providing the Kickstarter box. We still got a couple more that he has that we want to open, because he's trying to get a PSA 10 full collection of Kickstarter. I got to do a huge shout out to CNO as well, because he actually was able to hook me up with a table with Steve Lindy from TCG Experience. So I actually had like my own table. And
I love Lindy. How good of a bloke is Lindy, man?
Oh, Lindy! Oh my God, dude, Lindy was. It was.
I always call him. I always call him.
Actually meet him, and it was a blast. Actually, he was hilarious the whole weekend.
He reminds me of Steve Stifler. I always call him Stiffmeister.
I could see that. And well, he has a special place in my heart too, though, because he's a huge Sam fan. So like, I'm like,
he is. He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's one of the best.
It was a blast hanging out with him, though, the entire weekend. We were there. My buddy Ryan Caution actually helped me behind my booth and with the actual stream. It was fun because I spent the entire weekend talking to people about MetaZoo, introducing them to the game. I had my binder with some of my cards, basically more for people to look at. Yes, I was trying to sell some, but it was more just to get people like, ooh, that's shiny. What's this? And it was awesome because I kept sending everybody that would talk to me over to the MetaZoo booth, because I could see the Mothman inflatable from where I was, and to be like, yeah, the big old Mothman inflatable right over there. Go check them out. They can tell you all sorts of blah 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 stuff. I got to see the van, or the trailer, which was really cool. It didn't have the wrap on it yet, but being able to actually see that was pretty cool. And I finally got to meet Poncho. I got to get my hearty handshake from Poncho, which I'd been wanting for the last year. And huge shout out to Kelsey as well, because during that charity stream, she actually gave a complete run of every single one of her little mini prints that I broke. I broke them into like 3 different lots, and we sold. We auctioned those off. That was huge. I gotta show this off just because it's beautiful. Where is it at? I had to have uploaded it.
I can't remember what I was trying to buy. There was something there you had.
Probably
That's
that.
what I was trying to buy.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. I had to show this off on the stream. Huge thank you and shout out to Kelsey and Poncho. This is the most amazing box topper I've probably ever seen in my life. They did the doodle and everything. It was amazing, and we auctioned that off as well too.
Yeah, I wanted that.
Gary actually took his Collecticon promo and got me to sign it. He signed it. We got Poncho to sign it. We auctioned off one of those, I believe. But yeah, no, it was a blast. That whole weekend was just nonstop a blast. And I lost count of how many people I actually talked to about MetaZoo as well too. And the buzz about that promo, man, like everybody that I know in the community wants that Collecticon promo. And I haven't seen any sort of drive like that, honestly, since the Mothman Festival promo.
Well, now you got the Hello Kitty promos.
Okay, fair.
Which we'll get to. But that Mothman promo, you're right. I struggled to find one, and I'm pretty sure it was Lindy that got me one. I don't know where it is. He's got it. It's somewhere. But, I'll get it at some point. I don't know if it's with Lindy, if it's with Sino, or if it was with Karis, and now it's on its way here. I'm not sure. I get most of my stuff shipped to Karis, and then he ships it here. But I don't know where it is.
Wayward. I don't think, in theory, it shouldn't be the last promo, because we still have Long Beach Collecticon in 2 or 3 weeks, and then we have Charlotte Collecticon the same weekend as Dark Tower. So in theory, no, but I'm not positive about that.
There should be 6, right? Based on the first.
Based off of the egg, the Cumberland one.
There was 6, yeah.
So this is only and technically this is, if you count the gala, this is the 4th one, I think. But I don't know if the gala doesn't count because it doesn't have the phone number or anything on it. It's only the ones that actually have.
It's a semi-sync. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's the ones that have the numbers on them and everything like that.
Yeah, no, you're right, Star North. I was actually on eBay. I want a full set of the Hello Kitty ones, but I'm not paying people are asking 1,500 Australian dollars or 800 or 900 US. I'm like, dude, you just went to an event that I couldn't make it to and picked them up for free. I'd happily pay somebody $300 to $400 US for all 8 Hello Kitty promos.
Mm-hmm.
Anything above that, you're just taking the piss. And that's why there's so many still on there for sale, because I think people know that.
Well, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure if the $1,500 price point is anywhere near where they should be. I wouldn't be surprised though if the full set actually stays around $600 to $800, to be honest with you.
Don't say that. I want to get a set.
I know, but I can see some of these, especially after a couple months of them cycling through. I can see them, all of them across the board, selling for about $100 each or so. And that honestly brings us to the next thing that we were talking about, what is SDCC and Hello Kitty. I'll be completely honest with you. I was blown away at the reception that they got at SDCC. I knew it was going to be big. I knew that there were going to be lines. I knew that it is, in my opinion, the biggest collaboration that MetaZoo has ever done with any other IP. I mean, Hello Kitty is the 2nd largest franchise on the planet underneath Pokemon. That's huge. I didn't think that they were going to almost I don't want to say shut down SDCC, but I didn't think that they were going to have to move their lines. I didn't think that there's so much mayhem that weekend. It was crazy. I wish that I could have been there to actually witness it. I had to live vicariously through my buddy Ryan. But he was showing me the pictures of the line that went from the booth all the way to the other end of the building. That was actually his video that Argos showed up on Instagram, was my buddy Ryan's video, the line all the way from the booth all the way to the wall. But yeah, I didn't anticipate that type of reaction, if that makes any sort of sense. And
what did you think it was going to be?
I knew it was going to be big. I knew, but I mean, you also got to think it like SDCC. They're competing against like Funko. They're competing against like all of these other huge, big brands, like franchises. And yeah, they had like a lot of stuff, but everything that I was seeing, honestly, on social media was, and it was outside of MetaZoo peeps, was MetaZoo and Hello Kitty. So they, in my opinion, they took over SDCC. And a lot of it had to do with the crazy lines in order to actually get the promos, which they, again, they had no control over anything.
I was expecting it to be like that, though.
Well, people, I mean, the people choose where they want to stand in order to get what products, what promos and stuff like that at these cons. And so I did not expect it to be as as big as it was. Like I knew it was going to be big. I knew it was the biggest collaboration they'd ever done, but I don't know. I was just blown away, to be completely honest with you.
I was pleasantly surprised because it was exactly how I thought it was going to go down.
Nice.
But, you know, I was disappointed because I had another partner, one of the boys, another MetaZoo partner. He was going to try and get me the set, you know, but they were obviously just swamped. He managed to get me the Hello Kitty promo, so I'm stoked about that. I've got one. But you know, it would have been great to get the whole set. I would have, if my wife wasn't pregnant, I literally would have flown over there.
Really?
Like, just for SDCC, stayed for 48 hours and flown straight back.
Wow.
One, because I get to catch up with everybody. But that would have been the event to kind of go to, like that. That's pretty big. It's pretty nuts. And it's a set of promos I really want. I just want them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know anything about Hello Kitty, but Hello Kitty is something that I can remember seeing as far back as, say, I can remember seeing Pokemon. Always like, oh, there's that white Japanese little cartoon cat thing. Like, you just know it's out there, right? So for MetaZoo to be able to piggyback or latch on or collab with that, it's a no-brainer.
Well, it's funny because, like, I'm going to age myself when I say this, but I actually remember being very little, walking around the mall and there being a Hello Kitty store. Like, and that's, I mean, like you're talking about how, like, you remember them as a kid. Like, it was a full-fledged Hello Kitty store. That's all they sold was Hello Kitty merchandise. So I don't know. Yeah, I was blown away. I was blown away by what I saw from SDCC. And it was awesome to me too, because the majority of a lot of the stuff that I was seeing wasn't from MetaZoo fans. It was from Hello Kitty fans.
Which is awesome, which is like part of the point.
Yeah. Like I feel like they brought in more new casters that weekend than any other event they've ever done.
That's the go. That's what the collabs should be doing. And, you know, some in the past probably haven't, and some in the past definitely have. And this will be one of those ones that definitely has, with the direction that they're talking about moving it in anyway.
Yeah. I'm interested to see further collaborations with Sanrio and Hello Kitty. Like if it's some sort of a mini set or if it's just going to be like random.
I think there will be one. Just to follow up Mothhawk's comment there, I'm pretty sure Andy may or may not have teased that there would be a Hello Kitty mini set, about 70 to 80 cards at some point. So we'll see something, which will be awesome.
Which would be really cool, in my opinion, is if they actually can get that mini set to be sold in Hello Kitty and Sanrio stores and it not be like a marketplace exclusive or a partner exclusive or something. But if they can actually sell those, whatever the collab packs are, if they can sell those actually in the Hello Kitty stores, which still do exist if you can find them all.
It's just a trickier part of business, though, because you got to then factor in distribution, profit shares, licensing. It's not as easy as, you know, getting a licensing agreement from Sanrio, printing your own product and clipping and giving them their clip. It would be great. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It'd be awesome to see MetaZoo product sitting in a Hello Kitty store in like Osaka, Japan. Like that'd be wild. That'd be
Well, and
crazy.
see, the crazy thing is though, is that the Hello Kitty stuff is the only product that I can remember that has, and I can't speak for the cards, but I know that like some of the promotional stuff that they actually were sharing actually has the Sanrio or Hello Kitty copyright.
Yeah.
So it isn't just the MetaZoo copyright; it's also Sanrio. So that tells me though that it might be more of a store partnership, kind of like that thing where they actually already have that figured out, where they are going to actually sell the stuff inside of the store. And again,
Well, I
just
think
so everybody, this is all speculative. We have no way
I
of
did
knowing any
say
of this.
I did say to Matt, because Matt and I discussed this on our MetaZoo Nation podcast. I think it was on there about the Sanrio being printed at the bottom, and the reason for that is because the Hello Kitty artwork is owned by Sanrio, so it has to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, when you look at eBay collabs and things like that, you've got the logo on there, so it covers that box. Whereas the artist has done the whole artwork, so they get the credit, and then you chuck the logo on there for the collab perspective. But because you're using Choco Cat, Hello Kitty on there, and having the artist do the background, it
Mm-hmm.
needs to have that Sanrio down the bottom, and I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it when I saw that. I was like, "Now this is proper cool."
Cutthroat makes a good point. He says someone suggested MetaZoo and Hello Kitty set should be in retail big box stores, and Andy just answered with his usual smiley face emoji, which makes sense. So I don't know. I think I cannot wait to actually see more of the Hello Kitty MetaZoo stuff. I think it's going to bring in so many new people. It's an amazing way to actually introduce the franchise to more children as well too. Again, the next generation of casters that are going to keep this franchise going. On top of it too, using your big brain, the most amazing thing about it is it was pretty much a year before Yokai is released. Because Hello Kitty is huge in
That is
Japan.
no coincidence. That is
I know,
no
I know,
coincidence.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Using the big brain, it's
Yeah.
amazing to me because they're already starting that foundation now for the Japanese and the Asian market. Which again, like once MetaZoo actually hits the Japanese and the Asian market, there's nothing, especially with it being printed in Japanese itself, there's nothing that's going to stop it. Like,
Yeah.
people don't understand the Japanese specifically. Like yokai, for example, are part of their traditions. Like they're all like their personal traditions. And so I can't wait. I'm looking at all of the actual groundwork and the foundation that they're putting in right now, and I'm just being like, this is it.
I agree with Lindy, the Stiffmeister's comment there.
What do you say? A company like Sanrio does not make unvetted moves like this, and I believe it shows the trust and vision it sees in MetaZoo. Well said, Lindy. Yes, exactly.
Stiffmeister.
He was making fun of you. I don't know if you were still here when we were talking about Kansas City.
I don't think he was, which is why I'm saying it again, because I didn't get a bite out of him. I was trying to get something.
That's true. You didn't at all. I was kind of surprised about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Sanrio collaboration is honestly the best thing that could have gone for MetaZoo. And again, I know I've said it probably at least 20 times during the recap tonight, but it's at this point right now, it should be about the younger demographic. It should be about 14 to 12 and under, and getting them interested and invested into this. Yes.
It's about expansion. It's about
because
growth.
without having the younger generation jump on board to MetaZoo,
It dies with the oldies as we get older. That's it.
Exactly. And I mean, yes, everyone loves cryptids. Like, everyone loves these creatures. Everyone loves, like, the more people I talk to about the storyline and lore, they love these characters. They love the storyline. But until we actually get diversified demographic, until we actually get a younger demographic into the actual game, we're not going to see the exponential growth like we saw with the early years of Pokemon. And so that's why I'm excited about the book. That's why I'm excited about the animated shorts, about the eventual TV show that's coming out next year. I'm I see how, and again, you have to remember, like, this is their what? This is their 3rd year birthday week, I think. This week is they've only been around for
Happy
like 3 years.
birthday.
Happy birthday! So it's just amazing to me to actually see all of these moves that they've made, these big moves too, not just like little moves, but these bigger moves that they've made in 3 years. And just like, and again, like Lindy was saying, they don't just Sanrio does not just collaborate with everybody. Like they just that's and again that's what makes them the number 2 franchise on the planet. So I don't know. I'm very excited to see where this goes because yeah. I mean, it makes sense too with one of the guys that actually brought Hello Kitty to market. Actually, he's been on the board of MetaZoo for God since like what November, December of last year, I think. So again, this collaboration could be deeper than we actually know. It could actually have more feelers than we actually know as well too.
I like it.
So but yeah, I didn't go to SDCC, so I can't actually speak about the experience or anything like that. But from what I saw, it looked amazing and it looked very chaotic. Like super chaotic, and not just on like just I don't know. I don't know. I've never been to a con that size. I'm really excited to actually go to New York Comic Con for Casper's Cup because I've never been to one like that size.
I don't really want to talk about it because I'm not going to be there.
I know we talked about it before, and I'm really bummed now that you're not coming.
It's okay though. It means next year I can go to like maybe 2 towers and the Casters Cup.
You got to bring the little one with you though.
Definitely to Casters Cup. I think with the towers, I'll maybe do Long Beach. I was always going to do Long Beach, but I'm glad I didn't book that because the Spirit Tower's cancelled anyway. Because I can fly direct to LA, but then getting to New York there's no direct flights from Melbourne. I think to New York, I got to stop over. So, and I definitely want to go to the Flame Tower. I really wanted to go to that this year. I love Texas. Texas is great.
Dude, I'm actually, and that's funny because the next thing I want to talk about is Flame Tower. It was so odd not being at the tower because I had gone to the first 2 and like watching it. Well, as much as I could watch it because we were actually at GalaxyCon, Super Galactic Games and Comics. We were at GalaxyCon running all the tabletop events and TCG events there that same weekend. But it was so odd not being there at Flame Tower, and it looked like, in my opinion, based off of what I saw, what I'd experienced from Earth and from water, Flame looked like it was the best tower so far. I like the way that they actually not only incorporated the fourth wall effects, or the terras, but they incorporated the fourth wall effects as well too. That was a great addition to the tower's format, in my opinion. And it really diversifies what they can do in the future with other towers because they can use those same terras, but just change what the fourth wall effects are. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really impressed with what I saw with Flame Tower. What is Lindy saying?
Yeah, I'm just laughing at Lindy's BS. He's
TCG and House Party, which is actually a small get together in a Reddit mobile. Get out of here, Lindy.
I think with what Wayward's comment there too, I think every tower is only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole preface around, not knocking these out once a month like they wish they could have. I think they realized after the first one, like, oh, these events are gonna take a little bit more than we thought of resources than when they're in the initial planning phase. So I think postponing certain towers seems to be every second one basically, which makes sense. They're only going to get better and better. I can guarantee you after Dark Tower next month, everybody go, mate, that was the best tower I've ever been to. And I'm like, well, it should be because they're getting better and better and better.
For sure. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was very ambitious, in my opinion, to attempt to try to do 6 towers the first year.
I think I even speculated when I saw that. I was like, I love the enthusiasm. I don't think that's going to happen though.
I like though that they actually recognized that they needed to postpone some of them instead of just pushing ahead and making it happen. I
Yeah.
really like and I respect the decision for them to be like, okay, well, we're gonna pull back for a minute. We're gonna focus on these four, and we'll see what we can actually do from these. And like you said, every single tower that they've actually had so far has been an improvement. You've been able to actually see how they've gotten better at the organization, to the gameplay, to like what Wayward was actually even saying that they had a side event. They, what was it, one of the partners and MetaZoo actually had a side event for day 2 for the people that didn't actually make it the top 32. I really, really, really like how they're taking their time to refine the towers to where when they are able, they can jump in and we can have all 10 towers in a year. I do think that it is going to take a little bit just because, I mean, at the end of the day, they need the manpower. They need the employees, they need all of these things. But with what they're doing right now, making the small improvements in the tower format itself, like how from organization to execution, this will allow them to be like, okay, well, we need 4 people that can actually do nothing but towers. And so those
Yeah.
4 people are going to travel around to all of the different places to run the towers, to do this X, Y, and Z. Um, I feel like that's what we're seeing this first year. We're seeing all of the backbone of the organization and the format being refined and perfected to where I wouldn't be surprised if I honestly want to say we're going to get at least 6 towers, if not all 10 next year, because they'll know exactly what they need in order to make them run.
Yeah. I agree. It's clear cut. That's it. You're spot on. There's no special comments here. I've said the same thing the whole time. I'm like, that's it. That's it. They're going to skip every second one. They're going to get it right, and then they'll come back and they'll be able to smash it out. That's it.
It's true. Oh, and that's actually something that Hempbeard was actually saying too, is that they released the MPN right before the Earth Tower too. And I'll be honest with you, the new MPN is phenomenal. Like
Yeah. Cardio know what they're doing. Well done, boys.
I use that daily to look up different cards, whether it's for a theory video or it's for just for gameplay. Like I've been using it a lot, looking for Dark Tower deck builds and such. Yeah, exactly, Dalton. It is the best thing for deck building in my opinion, because you can say I want this trait, or I want these colors, or I want this set. I cannot stop ranting and raving about the MPN like reformat. Like
It's good that it's in like one spot too, because you used to have that deck building ability on a different website, and then the MPN on a different website, and now to be able to sort of utilize it, put it all in the one spot, like having the MetaZoo Play Network have everything that is involved in playing in one spot is great.
But yeah, I can't wait to see the futures of towers next year. I'm really interested to see what they're going to take from the towers format that we've seen over the last couple months and incorporate it into Caster's Cup. Like, is Caster's Cup going to be like what it was last year, where it's going to be straight decks, all like constructed decks all the way up to second day, and then second day it will be pseudo environments, or they're going to be pseudo environments first day? Like I just
was
really
at Casters
interested.
Cup, and it was perfect the way they kind of played it out. You know, like everybody was sort of going into that going, all right, it's going to be lightning or it's going to be water. You know, I played a light deck because I just didn't want to be either of those. But then the pseudo environment factor, and then the fourth wall factor on that day being Easton's birthday, all these things like played a part. It's never going to be the exact same result. Whereas if I think with the tower format, it's a little bit different. If it, there's a bit more luck, I think, involved in tower. Not just a little bit. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody, but people are playing very similar decks in a tower event as opposed to the Casters Cup, where it really comes down to you as a person. Whereas with there's only so many cards per aura, and combinations that you can have. Like we saw the Tehihans dominate the Earth Tower. We saw the explosive rabbits and the volcano woman's in a lot of decks in the Flame Tower. The Water Tower was those
water babies, water babies,
water babies in there.
Man.
Yeah, the Bandage Man, and there's you sort of get what I'm saying, right? I know that when it got to like the top 8 at Casters Cup, I think there was like 6 Quetz decks, a water deck, and like a light deck or a cosmic deck or something. But there's I think they'll keep. I hope they keep it the same. In answer to your actual question, like you're talking about Casters Cup and the pseudo environments on day 2, I hope it stays the same because it was brilliant last year. It was brilliant. I stopped myself. I stopped myself.
I've been waiting for it since we went live an hour and 15 minutes ago, man.
I didn't get there. I
love you so much. I do want to say this though before we switch to the next topic. I do think a lot of people slept on the tower bundles.
I did. I didn't
realize. Do what?
I didn't buy any of the tower bundles.
Well, I know that like you couldn't particularly buy one if you couldn't go and pick it up. I know that there were a handful of partners that actually were able to get some because of actually having a representative or something at the tower. So that's I just want to say, like, if you have the opportunity to buy one of these bundles, do it. Just because, again, I mean, this is very limited stuff. The pins, for example, are out at 250. I mean, the plushes are out at 250. Like, that was the only way besides I think that was the only way besides actually day 2 placing to get the tower packs as well too. So I mean, all of it. I just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there to where if you have an opportunity to get one of these tower bundles, definitely want to do it, because I mean, I have not been disappointed with any of the stuff that I've gotten from the towers. Saying that though, I'll have a bunch of stuff for sale after Dark Tower because I'm gonna win Dark Tower.
Yeah, you are.
That's right.
Drop Baron, bro.
Oh no, sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to drop the bear on you.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, this brings us to our next topic, which was the MetaZoo Marketplace promos Series 1 that they actually released. We just started seeing those actually in hands over this last week or so. We don't know a print run for them. We don't know what the cutoff was. If like you ordered something, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure like if they're still sending them out for orders that are placed today or anything like that. But I honestly, I kind of like the marketplace promo idea.
I think it's cool. I don't have any in hand yet.
It's very similar in my opinion to like the exclusive merch that they were talking about that's going to be on the MPN Rewards Network, where you're only going to be able to get this if you use your MPN points in order to get it and such. We don't have any idea of what a full run is of the promos. I think we've only seen like 6 of them or so. One of them, I don't know. I think the only full holo we've seen is the full holo Nanook. I did see Andy last night though in the Discord. He was talking about how he hasn't seen anybody pull anything crazy from those promo packs. So I don't know. I don't really have much except for them being released. I don't really have much info about them because it's literally only been like 4, maybe 5 days at most with those in hand.
Yeah. I got 0 info. I got less than you. I got nothing. I watched a couple of people open them, and there were like 1 or 2 packs per person. So most of them were the same. I think I saw. Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
That is the big thing I've actually seen. Yeah, that's the big thing I've actually seen is it does unfortunately look like
the good old clump.
Yeah. It does unfortunately look like if you got like 5 or 6.
Unless you're the guy that gets the good clump.
Hey,
Like the Hero Quest 1.0 guy that pulled like 8 Mothmen out of his like 10 Hero Quest 1 CDs.
that's
Like,
crazy.
for every bad clump, for every 20 bad clumps, there's somebody out there that gets a really good clump. So just be happy for the good clumper.
Shout out Cutthroat Zoo with MetaZoo Archives. Look at him. I love it. They've advertised the Series 1 is still available, but we've only seen 5 cards so far. You got 4 in your... What? What? Get out. See, I need to find a clump like that. Why can't I ever get a clump? My clumps my clumps are ghost deer. I get ghost deer clumps. That's all I get.
I don't get clumps. I have to buy everything I want because I never pull it.
Well, that's good to know, actually, though, that they're still available if you're for purchases. Then, and that means I should be getting 3 of them or so in the mail, hopefully sometime soon. I went ahead and ordered some Dimmock shirts. I don't have any Dimmock shirts, so I was like, I'll go ahead and get like 3 Dimmock shirts.
I like them. I wear my Sam Sinclair one a fair bit.
Oh, nice. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. If it doesn't really. I don't really care what shirt I get because I need all of them, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'll have at least 2, maybe, hopefully, sometime in the next week or 2 in order to open for the channel. But we should actually have more information, I want to say, by the end of August as well for like a full set list. So we might honestly want to show that off when we do the August recap. See, I love you, Cutthroat. We got Crow Mother, Tupelec Nanook, Joga, the Drum Dancer, and Yasuri. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Yasuri card looks insane. I wish I would have actually grabbed a screenshot of it because it looks like it's an adult Yasuri. Like the Yasuri from Native is all cute and cuddly inside the opalescent moss. It just split and it's just born. This one looks like it's gonna mess you up. Yeah, so we'll have to talk more about those when we do the August monthly recap, because to be fair, they actually started showing up in August, but I wanted to talk about them because they were at least teased at the beginning of July. Talking about the marketplace though too, it's kind of really cool when you think about it, because did I actually have the picture? I don't have the picture for it, but the MetaZoo has actually had they announced 100,000 orders go through on the MetaZoo marketplace.
Oh, that was a little while ago, wasn't it?
That was towards the end, towards the beginning of July.
Yeah, I think they made a point as well to say that milestone was hit a lot earlier than that.
They finally got the plaque actually from
the Shopify. Yeah, the plaque, because it's like, on YouTube when you crack 1 million eventually subscribers, they'll send you one, but it'll take you'll be at 2 million by the time you receive it.
Oh, that's if I can ever hit actually 1,500. Let's go 1,500. I just dropped again. I don't know why I dropped again. That was weird.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna do the professional thing and just keep going with that. I was just gonna jump over to a Q&A.
So yeah, I thought that was just kind of cool. I wanted to actually shout that out. I do actually, before we move forward though, because I forgot to do it when we actually had the flame tower when we were talking about it. I did actually want to show the winner. That was the best picture that I could actually get of the winner of Freddie.
Are you having Freddie on the show?
I'm trying to. I'm in the process of trying to talk to, I think it's his manager, in order to actually get him on the show so we can talk about how it was playing the Flame Tower, his idea for the meta and stuff like that. Haven't set a date or anything yet, but I am trying to get Freddie on the show so we can
his
talk about
manager.
Yeah, they just went to Gen Con, so I know they were traveling, I think, today to get back home and stuff like that. So I'm giving them a couple days or so. But yeah, I'm hoping to actually get him on the channel because it'd be awesome to actually talk to him. I've loved every single time when we talk to Abel, when we talk to Sean. Like, I loved getting into their heads on exactly, specifically what they were thinking on day 2. Like, I love that heightened sense of playability, I guess, you have on day 2, where like everybody on day 1, just from the 2 towers, they're serious, but at the same time they're having fun, they're goofing around, they're doing this. It is straight business day 2 though, like, and I saw that both at Water and Earth. So I don't know, I always like talking about that.
Oh yeah, came to watch it.
The next thing I want to talk about, if I don't know if Ryan is actually still here or not, but it is, of course, the top secret UFO disclosure eminent packs that went up for sale. I think about a week and a half ago or so, and it was
Yeah.
really cool. I don't know how much of this you actually saw with the social media stuff that they were doing.
I
Did you
didn't.
see?
These went up. These went up because, as you know, I've been really busy. These went up.
Yeah.
I bought 5 of them originally, and then I was like, no, that's not enough. I went back and I bought 40, and then I was like, all right, that'll do. I'll see what they are when they get here, and I just, had to go back and get on with it. So please do educate me on what the hell they are, because I have a lot of them coming.
Okay, so MetaZoo, it was probably one of the coolest things that they've actually done in a really, really long time. They posted between Facebook, Twitter, no, it was Twitter, Instagram, and Discord, different pictures that were missing letters on some of it. Some of them you had to translate. Some of it was an image that you could barely see, and it was all about aliens. It was all like the first one was I think it was help, send help, UFO crash site, biogenesis to follow, which biogenesis plural is the plural to biogenesis, which is when organic matter pretty much starts being created. So I took that as like terraforming, the card from UFO, where it looks like the Earth is literally changing to whatever the planet was that the aliens were at. It they basically it was all about how like I don't know. There's so much there's secrets in UFO that Andy and Mike have been very very vocal about us not being able to touch us, not even touching the iceberg, I believe is the quote from Andy. And I'm hoping that some of these cards are actually going to tell us more of that story in UFO. I don't know if the set is only going to be 4 cards, or like proper, or if there's going to be other stuff that's in it besides the 4. I mean, they've only released those 2 right there. We don't even know what the other 2 of them are. But I'm really hoping that this has something to do with the UFO story at large. The other really, really brilliant thing, too, was that this was the same week that the House Oversight Committee in the US actually had the disclosure briefing about UFOs.
That's
So
pretty
it was
cool.
perfect timing on MetaZoo's part. It was extremely like it was the most brilliant way for them to actually release this drop. In my opinion, I think it was the most thematic drop that they've ever done before in my life, I believe. But I was on my way to GalaxyCon the entire time, and it was like myself, Dad Hat, MetaZool, um, and we were like we were all trying to figure this stuff out. Like I'm trying to drive down the road and they're sending me messages. I'm like, I'm driving. I can't look at this. You guys figure this part out and I'll look at it. And I'd stop to get gas and I'd fill up the car and I'd look at my phone and I'd figure like I'd look at it, try to figure something out and then send them a bunch of messages. Like I hadn't had that much fun decoding something in a while. But I'm excited to see exactly what it is. They should be, I believe, those come out. Is it on the actual graphic? Because I believe it actually should be.
I think that was September as well.
Yeah, I think it's early September if I remember. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to actually I'm excited to see those because I want to know more about the UFO storyline. Um, and I guess Oh wow. Okay. I guess we only really have one more topic, and then we can actually kind of turn it over if anybody has any questions or anything.
Yeah, we've been
UFO.
going for an hour and a half. Somehow we've been going for an hour and a half. I remember we looked at the topic. I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll get there
30
in
minutes.
like an hour, maybe. But you start talking
Expected
about
final
dark
transmission.
artwork and Hello Kitties and all that shit. You never know.
See, look at a cutthroat. He always comes through. Expected final transmission on September 1st. So, well, does
That
that
was
mean
that
though?
the artist formerly known as Cutthroat Pie? Is that who that is?
Yes.
Cutthroat Zoo?
Yes.
Legend.
Now with them
Legend.
saying transmission on September 1st, though, expected final transmission. I don't know if that means we're going to get the last teases of it on September 1st, or if that means that it will be product in hand September 1st. Just wanted to point that out.
I'm in Australia, so it ain't going to get to me on September 1st if it is
you
that.
won't
Anyway.
get it till October.
It's not that bad these days, thankfully. It's only about a week or two later.
Now, this is, again, something, this next topic is something that we're going to have to talk about probably in depth in September, about August. And where did I put them? And it's these guys. It's the MetaZoo, the NFT PFP redeemables, okay? So this is something that I just wanted to make sure that we actually at least touched on this month, because as far as I am aware, the redemption for the PFPs should start tomorrow.
How do I redeem these if I don't have like any other PFPs or NFTs? What am I supposed to be setting up here?
So what you would need to do is you would need to actually create and this is what I would do in my opinion. It'd probably be the easiest thing. Set up a MetaMask wallet. It is a NFT PFP crypto wallet that you can actually use for your cryptocurrency, your NFTs, other stuff like that. You can download the app on your phone. Probably be the easiest way of actually getting access to it. And as far as I'm thinking, the way the redemption process is going to work is that once you go into MetaMask, you can go to the MetaZoo Marketplace website. It will, if this is the way it works, at least for like checkout for like buying products using NFT or a coin. When you go to the MetaZoo Marketplace, you put the item inside of your cart, and then you actually have a little button underneath where the quantity number is that says apply NFT wallet. You hit that. Since you're inside of the MetaMask app itself, it automatically connects your wallet actually to that checkout that you're trying to do right there, and it applies the discount. Now, I will say that some of the time it won't actually show you the full discount until you're about to check out. So, like, for example, if you go in and try to buy something and you put it in your cart, it will say that it's $10,000, but it won't actually be 10,000 when you get to your cart to check out. It will actually be $99.99. As far as I remember from what I was told about the PFPs months ago, because I made a whole video about the PFPs and such before they even dropped that, like back November, December. The cards themselves, they have the code actually on them. It's going to be very similar to like a Revive skateboard redemption. You'll have to go to the website in order to put the code in, and then in theory, the PFP should be airdropped to your wallet. Now, that's why I say it's very important for you to actually create like a MetaMask account, is so you can actually go to the redemption website using the MetaMask app. Your wallet will already be associated with it, or it should be easier for you to associate your wallet with the actual NFP, or so the PFP redemption. You put in the code, and it should be airdropped to your wallet. I don't know if we're gonna get eggs like we did last time. I don't know if I don't know how it's going to show up in essence in the wallet itself. I don't know if it's going to be fully formed, if it's going to take a couple days or take a week or whatever. Because remember last time we got the eggs, and then they were eggs for like what, 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, and then they turned actually into the PFPs themselves. As far as I'm aware, too, the way that the actual like they have the artwork for. Say that again. Airdropped in. Well, I'm not sure who that is on Facebook, but what do you mean? Say that again. Airdropped in. The PFP, as far as I'm aware, once you're in the MetaMask app and you go to the website in order to put the redemption code in, as long as your wallet is connected, it should airdrop the PFP into your wallet. I guess that's what I was saying about airdrop. But the way the original PFPs worked is that Jet actually did all of the artwork for all of them, and they were all individualized. All like it was a bunch of different elements. Each one of the PFPs, or like the horns, or the teeth, or the earrings, or the glow, or the rainbow vomit. All of those were different elements. Nothing was tied together. And when the eggs hatched, the algorithm that was used for the eggs for the PFPs automatically added those attributes to whatever the base was. So in theory, this actually should have a base beastie on it, but we won't know what, like, none of the attributes in theory should be tied to this code. It's all going to be the roll of the dice with the algorithm, which I think is kind of cool. So I think there's going to be a mad dash when they do open redemption. Just because, I mean, yes, you might have a 0.003% chance to hit one of a specific very rare trait, but you still want to be one of those first to try to hit that trait, if that makes sense. And I just remember too, like, specifically when the eggs were hatching, it took a minute for some of the eggs to actually hatch because so many different people were trying to hit the server. They were trying to actually refresh in order to get their egg to hatch and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm interested to see how the process is going to work out. It should be, like I said, last I heard, it should be tomorrow. I don't have a specific time for anybody though. But I will try to, as soon as we actually get word, I'm going to do it with one of mine and then try to put together I'll be at work, but I'm going to try to put together a very short and simple step-by-step. This is what you have to do for your redemption. So make sure to check out YouTube. I'll probably try to make it a short that I put on YouTube and Instagram or so like that. But it should be really simple. I mean, it's been explained, or it's been said over and over again that it should be really simple, that it should be.
I mean, you make it sound simple, so let's.
Well, it's the same way that I know it's the same way that we used for the revived skateboards. It's just it adds the extra element of the NFT wallet. That's the only real difference. So that's why I say I think the easiest way to redeem them is going to be have a MetaMask account, go to the website actually in MetaMask proper, and then redeem it through there because you'll already have access to your actual NFT wallet.
Sounds like the game plan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to actually see what we actually get from these. I'm really excited to see what we get from these.
They're meant to be UFO and just seance beasties, right?
UFO seance, because we got the first wave. We got what? Cryptic Nation, and Nightfall, and Wilderness.
Yeah. Yes.
Didn't we? Did we? I thought we got Wilderness. Okay. I thought we got Wilderness.
Yep.
This one should be UFO, Seance, and Native. I originally had thought that maybe we were going to have some Hero Quest in it. That was going to be the third set, but it seems like it's going to be UFO, Seance, and Native. Saying that though too, I do feel like there's like, I don't remember anybody from the PFP boxes that I've actually seen open claim any sort of redeemable either. And they specifically did say there would be redeemables in this besides the PFPs. There would be NFT redeemables. There'd be other stuff as well too. So I don't know if that means these are those, or if that just means that we need to open up more PFP boxes in order to find those redeemable cards.
A lot of those PFP boxes were cracked, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there aren't many of them left, I feel. They didn't make that many of them to begin with. It was one of the lowest print run products that they actually put out there. So I don't know if that means that this right here could potentially have an NFT on it instead of the PFP. But they did say that each box was guaranteed a PFP. So I don't know. I think there's going to be some curveballs that we're going to actually experience tomorrow. Not in a bad way, but in a, oh, I didn't know that came with this, or I didn't know that was this instead of that. I'm really interested to see end of day tomorrow, once some of these actually start getting claimed, especially if there is some sort of crazy redeemable that we haven't seen yet. The codes out of the full set boxes might redeem for more than one PFP. That's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about that, Cutthroat. That's true. I do know that the full set boxes actually had like a higher chance for a serialized, if not
I
guaranteed
only opened the
serialized or
full
something.
set boxes, so I guess we'll find out.
Hey, you got to open them so I can live vicariously through you because I didn't get any full set boxes. Haha. I did open
I've got two
regular ones,
codes. Yeah, I've got 2 codes to redeem that were from full set boxes. So we'll see how we go.
I got 7, and I want to open up more PFP. PFP was honestly one of my favorite things that they had done. Like, I don't know why either, because there's no versatility with the cards. Like, you can't. I honestly kind of want to use the cards for tokens for decks and such.
I mean, as a Grim Reaper collector, I was just glad there was something else I can, try to accumulate, put in a slab, and appreciate it as time goes by.
Yeah, there's a couple that I want to see about getting graded, but I don't. Those corner cards. Those corner cards.
Man, I just grade stuff so that it's graded, so that it's just like protected.
I know you were actually showing off, or before we actually started the stream.
It was that one.
His, content creator medal. Would it come back into 10 too?
Yeah. So the influencer and the content medals are 10s. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you got a first signed influencer medal. Like, what are you talking about?
I was going to say, now that I have mine signed, I actually want to send them off to get graded.
Yeah, now you should. Now you got to protect it. Now it needs to be graded to protect it, right?
Like, 100%. Oh, okay. So what? He said found it. There are different items in the redeemable codes, so don't share those. Also, the codes are broken up differently for full set versus non-full set boxes. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. That's good to know.
Cool.
That's good to know.
Cool.
But yeah, that's the rundown of the PFP redemption. I know that, like, again, we're gonna talk way more in depth on that beginning of September with the August recap, just because we'll actually have pictures of them. I can show off mine. Dean can show off his full set holder ones. I mean, it will glorious times all around. But it was worth mentioning tonight because we are actually, hopefully, I believe, being able to redeem them tomorrow. Anybody from the chat have any questions or anything though about anything?
If you're redeeming them tomorrow, like what time is that? Like it's usually like around midday. What time did you do the PFP one?
The PFP. See, the PFP, they dropped like the actual eggs. They dropped. I want to say at like it's either 11 or 12 Eastern. But then we held on to them for like what? It was like 2 or 3 weeks. And then there was a specific time that they hatched, and I think it was noon Eastern time. But again, it was weird because even though it hit noon, not all of the eggs hatched at once, because you had to like almost initiate the hatching of the egg, and then you had to refresh it, and then it actually it did its thing. And again, I was super green when it came to that. Like one of the first videos I put up on the channel was my PFP fail video of how I bought the fake one. So like I didn't really know what I was doing. The redeeming marketplace, not entirely sure. That's what I'm saying. They are going to definitely give us a link. And that's where we will go in order to redeem them. Again, I'm recommending people do it through MetaMask, because that way you'll have access to your actual NFT PFP wallet. That way it just, in my opinion, it's going to be way easier to do it some sort of way through that. But I want to say it should be on the marketplace probably. We've been told that it's going to be the same way that we redeem revive skateboards and such. So I don't know. I think it's going to be actually. I think once we get full like explanation of exactly how to do it, I think it's going to be way easier than any of us are trying to piece together right now. I think it's yeah. But again, I'm not sure though if we're going to redeem it and it's going to be an egg and we'll have to sit on it again for another 2 weeks or so, or if we're going to redeem it and it's going to airdrop it immediately. I am interested though, because again, from what I've gathered, this has the base beastie or whatever already on it, but it doesn't have any of the attributes. So when I input that code, it's taking that base beastie and randomly adding attributes to it. And the whole thing is just, the Jet was explaining it to me one time, and it's so awesome. actually the process of how it actually works, because it's all random. MetaZoo proper does not create the PFPs. An algorithm creates the actual elements being added to the bases, and so it's a really cool process. What's full
I
set
love your
versus non-full
use.
set?
I love your use of the word proper.
What do you mean?
It's classic. It's old school, old school English. It's classic. I love it.
Oh, I love you, Dean.
But
Somebody
to
asked this
answer your
question.
question, answer that question.
What's full set versus non-full set? We're not entirely sure. Full set
What?
is
Here we are. Here we
well,
are.
okay,
What are you
I
talking
meant
about?
like with the redemption. What do you actually get from it? Full set is a
Oh,
full
yeah, we
set
don't know.
token holder versus a non-full set token holder. Full set token
people
holder.
that held the full set of tokens got given a box
Yeah,
that was different, apparently, to the ones that people just held a few tokens.
yeah.
But we don't know what benefits what. Yeah.
Well, and see, when you say tokens too, you mean specifically the NFT tokens, not the PFPs, because there is honestly no real way of deciding or figuring out what a full set of the PFPs would be. Is it
Isn't
one of
each
each beast?
PFP different?
Yes, all 5,000 of them are completely
Yeah.
different.
So
I
you could
believe
have the full set. You just be the only one that owns any PFPs.
it kind of, well, see, that's the thing though. How do you define a full set of PFPs? Is it one of each of the beasties? Is it
No,
one of
it's one of every single one that's out there. That's it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a hard, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of glad that they didn't go with a full set of
Go with that.
PFP, like, or say quote unquote, because it would be subjective. I mean, you'd always have people who would get upset because, like, well, I own one of each. How is that not a full set? So I kind of like that they did not include full set PFP in any of that. They kept it more to the NFT market. I had a box that had a gold token on it. Is that significant? No, I think
Yes, that is a full set.
Oh yes, haha! Because I do not have full set, so that is the difference.
Full sets have a little gold token up there somewhere.
It's like right over here, I think, over here in that corner.
It's top right.
Over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I just oh god, they all went everywhere. I just wanted to show off the artwork in these boxes. Again, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but god, dope. The artwork in is
so the full set ones just say utility is king on the inside.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll show you. I think I've got one here. Yeah, I do. So this is the inside of those ones.
Get out. Oh, that's so cool. So I might need one of those empty boxes just to actually have that box. I'll trade you. Hey, if you got two of them, I'll trade you a regular one for one.
I've got a regular one over there as well. I think it's that one right
I
there.
gotta find somebody who actually wants a semi-utility as king. That's
Mate.
amazing. It's all right. It probably cost me $30 for an extra box to get it, an empty box to get it sent.
I gotta send you a playmat at some point too, but I'll do that after I move. I'm not sending out any playmats till after I move house next week.
Yeah, if you guys have not seen the new playmat for MetaZoo Nation, you guys are missing out. It's beautiful. Oh god, it's beautiful.
It is. It really is.
Hey, so that means that when we do this in September, you'll be in your new spot though, right?
I will. Studio is way bigger. It's going to be a lot different. I'm looking forward to it.
That's exciting. It's super, super exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, does anybody in chat have any questions or anything like that? I mean, appreciate you guys actually hanging out with us while we did this recap, talking about everything that happened in July. There's a lot of big stuff that happened in July.
There's a lot of stuff dropped in July, like new opportunities to purchase things. So
yeah.
Which is always fun. I think I was just looking at like orders the other day, but yeah, I think it's like fan art, legacy, native streamer kits, the UFO packs. They're like the orders that I've got in that I'm waiting for. So
those streamer kits, man. And see, I know there were a lot of people that were upset talking about the streamer kits. I'm not upset that we haven't gotten them yet, because it has been explained that there are war spoilers in that in those kits. And so it makes sense why they haven't pushed them, especially now knowing that Legacy is actually on its way, because they want to focus on Legacy instead of focusing on War, and you don't want to spoil too much of War before we get closer to it. Like I'm okay with us not getting those streamer kits yet.
I think so as well. I think, like we said really early on in the whole thing, the longer something usually takes, the better it is.
Look at the PFP set. That's just I don't know. I love it so much.
Yeah. I got my streamer kit shipped to my middleman in the US anyway, so whatever. Sometimes I forget what I've even sent there, and he's like, he sent me a box today. There's like a bunch of Magic cards there and stuff. So
okay. And to answer your
and
question,
Hello
that
Kitty promo
conditioner that I use is whatever my wife buys.
Just use her conditioner. That's the best way. Then you know it's good.
That's what I do. Yeah. I just whatever's there when I need to take a shower. Oh, nice. That's what I use.
2 hours, man. Who smashed that? Oh,
look at that! I know. I'm impressed. I
need a coffee. It's almost 1 o'clock here, and I'm due for one.
Like AM or PM?
AM.
No,
PM. PM.
I was about to say, like,
dude.
How's the middle of the night?
We started at 11 a.m. Now it's almost 1 p.m.
Nice. Well, my guy, I mean, I appreciate you jumping on here, talking through everything with us. Hopefully next month we'll actually have the three of us again, the three amigos. It's nice actually having both you and CNO though, to where, because I know both of you are super busy with your jobs, so it's nice to actually have one of you guys to actually talk with, go over the rundown of everything that's happened over the last month or so.
It's always fun.
But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that happened in July. I think there's even going to be more stuff that's going to actually happen in August. We should be getting more teases and stuff like that, especially leading up to Legacy, with the UFO disclosure stuff, with Mothman Festival and Dark Tower and such. Like, I think August is going to be there's still a lot of time left in August. What do you have to say? Is we have seen a lot of Explosive Rabbit recently. Will it be an important lore beastie or playing to get the kids involved? That's a good question, Meta. I honestly want to say it's a little bit of both. I think it is one of those cuter beasties that could bring in a lot of the younger demographic. At the same time, though, too, you got to think that each tower has almost had its own mascot. You had Ooga for water. You had
shocking mascot as well for Water Tower.
Do what?
A shocking mascot. Out of all the water cryptids you could have, you go with a Ogwa. Like,
I mean, I gotta say though, the plush is.
Imagine if that was like a chibi Frogman.
I'm just saying, you don't want to use Frogman right at the beginning.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. The plushes have actually sold me. And then what? Earth Tower was Pink Mess, and then Explosive Rabbit was for the Flame. I'm interested to see what they're going to be using for Dark Tower, because everybody would assume it'd be Mothman, but
they already did a Mothman plush.
Oh, really? That's true. So I don't know what beastie. Chibi Wendigo, maybe. You could actually have a Chibi Wendigo. Okay. I hope it's not Black Cat. That would just
they keep going with beasties that don't really get any love. So you know, Chupacabra has probably got to be one of those. But
Dover Demon.
I don't know.
Dover Demon would be a cool one to do. Actually,
they also need to be able to look kind of cute. So I don't know. Maybe they should go with a drop bear, but we'll see.
Chippy Salem's Witches.
That's probably it.
That's it. I saw. Yeah, Captain Hempbeard actually says like, oh no, that's it. It's cute. It's yeah. Oh wow. Oh, Chibi Boogeyman is on the tower mural. You're right though. You're right, Cutthroat. Ooh. I don't know. I do want to point out this too. Cutthroat did actually say this as well. Dark Tower signups have been moved to August 11th as well. So make sure that you get your events and other such like that done.
Is that earlier or later than it was?
I think that is later than when it originally was. But I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Quote him on that, guys. He actually said it.
Don't quote me.
That is what a quote is. He made the quote.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave before you actually put more words in my mouth. Okay, 8-7 was the original, so I was right. So you can quote me if you want.
Yeah, see? I mean, you said it anyway. So that's the way it works, man. Come on, Rob.
um. But yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, Chippy Salem's Witches or Chippy. It's probably gonna be Boogeyman though, because he is right. Because Chippy Boogeyman has actually been on the mural. I have seen that one. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows? We
I
don't
don't know. I don't
know.
know. But yeah, anyway, my name is Turmentic. I appreciate you guys jumping in here, hanging out with us. Of course, we have the beautiful and the young Dean. See, I had to put beautiful back in there again. Yeah, right. From MetaZoo
Yeah.
Nation Australia,
Thanks.
our brothers from down under. Thank you for, as always, for joining. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, talking with you, my man. Like you're one in a million.
Nah, stop. Stop with this. You were never this nice in the DM, so you know.
I'm gonna make him blush, guys. I'm gonna see. Can we make an Australian blush?
In winter you can, because there's no sun down here, so I'm pale as, so you'll be able to tell, but in summer you wouldn't know.
All right. So I'm bummed that you can't get over to the States this year. I'm excited for you though in your future with your little chibi and the house move and everything like that. So congratulations on those front. But I'm kind of bummed I'm not going to see you in a couple months.
You will. You just won't see me in a couple of months this side of the new year.
Fair. We'll just have to do the same thing we did at the gala, where I'll have to go live and you'll just have to experience with me wherever we are. I'll take you out.
We'll just show up. Maybe I'll just show up to Costco. Maybe I'm telling everybody I'm not going to go, and I'll just pop up. Who knows? I don't know.
It's true. Well, I mean, I can always just I'll call you up on my phone or I'll go live or something like that, and we'll walk down Point Pleasant Main Street.
Just make sure you get me those mugs you promised us ages ago.
You 100%. I need to go up before Mothman Festival so I can actually get them. Yeah. Because there's no way I'm gonna get inside of that museum on during the festival. Like that's a 3-hour wait. It's a 2.5, 3-hour wait just to touch the shiny hiney. Like
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah. Oh dude. Hiney. Oh yes. There. But that is one of the biggest things actually about going there is touching the shiny hiney of Mothman. There's T-shirts, there's bumper stickers, shiny. It's a thing.
Cool.
It's odd. And then they leave beans on the statue too because of Fallout 76. Yeah. Americans, what are you gonna do, man?
Well, thanks for having me. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, as always.
Of course, my guy, of course. And thanks to everybody in the chat. And we'll see you guys next time. Like I said, I'm going to try to put out something really short and sweet about PFP Redemption once we get more word tomorrow exactly how it's going to work. But until then, y'all are amazing. I love each and every single one of you in this community. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.